Hey, how's it going, world? And viewing people. It's Nick's forecast, 16th of April. Anyways, been just reading some more articles today. Buyers, investors, your time is coming. There will be a bubble crash, and it's gonna be probably as bad as 2000, probably worse. And there's gonna be a lot of homes on the market, so cash is gonna be king for you buyers, first time buyers. Just hold on to your money, keep racking it away because there's going to be commercial deals. There's going to be housing deals you guys are going to be able to pick up for cheap, and the banks are going to get totally hosed again. You're going to be able to get the stuff under value and just ride it out like they did last time. Every city is going to get bumped as bad, but there's a lot of places that are going to get hit. Right now, like Seattle, which is the biggest, most expensive market in the U.S., their stuff is starting to crack. It's starting to crack Tampa Bay, Phoenix, Dallas, Miami. I mean, a lot of places are starting to crack. So this is good, and I hope raise the interest rates another 3 points, at least 2 points, because it'll take stuff up. It went over 5%. Great. I like to see this. I want to see the rates go up, because then when the rates keep going up, it's going to give the chance for the middle class to buy. The only problem is the inflationary pressures, because it's putting a more dent on the debt to income ratios for people loans. But it's different when you're doing commercial, because you got to put money down anyways. Residential, not so much, because you can still do zero down loans. They started doing zero down loans back up in 2012 when Citibank was starting to do it, City Finance, whatever term you want to use for them. And they had some loans on the back end on their on another finance vehicle. Basically, it's their own kind of hedge fund, essentially, or equity group. So a lot of people don't know this, of course, because they don't follow anything, and most mortgage brokers couldn't tell you this because they don't know anything, especially mortgage people at banks or credit unions. But I'm just giving you a little history of that. If you had to have assets, but still 100% zero down, is 80-20 loan. But still, you got loans right now. You can still go down to 500. You can still do carrybacks. Not all the states have as many mortgage people, or I should say many mortgage funders, as they do in California, but that's because they've got 45 million people. But they still have a lot in Florida, Texas. Texas has got cane laws. There's still quite a few in Oregon, Washington, Idaho. Boise right now is the hottest market for a long time. Article today, things are starting to loosen up there too. And their stuff is starting to fall. And a lot of it's going to start falling. It's going to start to be big cracks. It's a law of gravity. But if you're an investor or buyer, I would just wait. I wouldn't buy. Estate agents and mortgage brokers don't want to hear it, but screw them. I would wait and save your cash. I remember in 2008 crumbled down. 2009, 10, 11, 12. Wasn't until about 13 really into 14 things started coming back. Yeah, about mid 2014. But I remember in Dallas, you used to just read all the foreclosures coming out of the FDIC and FHA, Fannie Mae. I mean, the apartment buildings were just unbelievable coming out. There were tons of them. And a lot of these apartment buildings were still, a lot of them some were unfinished buildings. Well, there's a lot of buildings in there that were still, 75% filled, but they just needed some stuff done, and they could go to at least 95%, probably 95%. Now the same ones got bought out, and this is outside. I remember, and then I saw some of them in Arlington. These are just examples, and I've seen it in Indianapolis, Kansas City, and Memphis, Nashville, Kentucky had the same problem in Louisville, Lexington areas. There's just different parts. Even in Seattle, going all the way down, Portland, down to Sacramento Bay Area, they got slammed too. There were good deals there too, especially Los Angeles area and in San Diego, Orange County. Orange County not so much. You got other counties besides LA County, like Riverside County, some parts of St. Louis, and you go up into the Central Valley, into Bakersfield, Fresno. There's a lot of areas up there where there's still a lot of good deals, but the thing's going to crash, and it's starting to happen. I mean, the areas that are super rich, they won't get hit as bad because a lot of the homes are paid off, but still a lot of people are going to get slammed because there's a lot of rich people are going to get taken in the shorts again. That's just kind of the way it goes, especially with all the bond debt that's ready to. Like I said, I just today I saw 4 different articles on it, on the same thing, all these saying the same damn thing. So if you're an investor or buyer, your first time buyer, second time buyer, you're an investor, you got a lot of cash, you're going to be the king of the road, just like it was before. You'll have the cash to go in and just start scooping stuff up. And you just sit there and hold on to it, get the stuff running out, and you just keep buying cash, 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 cash. Now, I know Grant Cardone says to leverage, especially when you're families. Yeah, I'm totally for that. But the thing is, you have an opportunity if you got a lot of cash, and just sit there and buy the stuff and not worry about it. So doing commercial, you might have the cash because the stuff's going to, you'll be able to buy a lot of apartment buildings and say, screw it, even commercial buildings, but those are harder to rent, especially with all this COVID nonsense going on. So, but the buildings are still the Rolls Royce of real estate. Hotels is a different deal. That's a whole different sidewinder there. I had some hotels before and past, so I know a lot about it. But hotels is just a whole different game. Even though the travel thing's coming back more, but that's a whole different ball game. It takes a different type of risk and certain type of individual to do it. But it's easier to maintain the apartment buildings. And there's always apartment buildings for sale, but the thing is, a lot of them are going to hit into the dirt, because there's going to be a lot of people who are just going to get caught. A lot of renters are going to bolt out of there because they can't afford it. They've lost their jobs. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen here soon. There are some other people talking. It could be later this year. It could be food riots as a potential. A lot of panic and chaos on the streets of America. I've seen this in a couple different sources, and a lot of these vanilla sources. Some aren't, but a lot of vanilla sources will talk about the same thing because of the supply problems, food problems, and fuel shortages. This could happen effect in major cities, and so, and also too, if they put a moratorium like they did in the COVID thing, and they put it on, can't boot your renters out because of all the problems that could possibly happen. You don't know, but they're talking later in the year. It could happen, or early into next year, so who knows? And I'm use that. You never know what could happen. So, but as an investor and buyer, it's still potentially the bomb basically bursts out and the bubble explodes. There's going to be a lot of opportunity there to buy, and a lot of buyers last time, first time buyers, second time buyers, no, because I sold some of the homes and everything went under. There'd be a lot of apartment buildings, like I said, are going to go under too. And so there's going to be a lot of opportunity if you got the cash. So remember, cash is king. So it's good to keep your eyes peeled. There's going to be more FISBOs out. I've been reading that even the area I live in, there's a lot more fit. And this market's been pretty high speed. The Lake of the Ozark area is in pretty high speed. It's been moving. They had another record year. I think they got close to $2 billion, which is, pretty good for an area where the average price in the lake area is probably only running about probably about $330 a house. And you got a lot of high end stuff that's about $330 for $300,000, $350. You can get a house right on the lake. So it's like Springfield, Missouri that way too, down into Arkansas, down that way. You can get into it. There's some areas down there in the Ozark Mountain areas you can get stuff. Even that one crazy pastor on a TV show, Tammy Faye Baker's Jimmy or whatever his name is. He's got a big housing development down in the Ozark area in Arkansas, Branson area. So it's pretty good. Oklahoma down in there. Yeah, there's some good areas down there. That's where Kinder Reese, they made a lot of money down there. I don't know if it was Kinder Reese that lived in Oklahoma on the Texas border and the other one, but they made a lot of money down there. But remember, it's boom or bust oil, but they kind of spread it out because there's more tech and more people are moving in those areas. Now part of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, because of the way the tech system is set up as they bail out of the East and West Coast, which is cool. Same things happen in the Midwest too. So what I'm saying is a lot of opportunities. Also too, August, September, if you got the cashola, you got 10, 20, 30 grand, 50, 100,000 bucks or more. Don't be afraid of the counties you live around and check out the tax auctions. Now, if you live in the East or West Coast, that really isn't going to apply too much. No offense, not Southwest. It will further outside the big cities. Midwest for sure. Some parts of the Southwest, though, you can work at some parts of the Southeast too. You're outside the big city, like out there in Georgia, outside of Atlanta or Columbus. But hell, even in Columbus, so I think you probably get a good deal there. Even though Fort Benning's there, but yeah, I think in Columbus you can work it because they've got like eight exits there. And I'm not talking Victory Drive, but even off Victory Drive up the road, there's still you might be able to find some good deals down that where because basically 85 runs from Columbus into Atlanta, but there's some good deals that go outside of it. But I think there'd be some good stuff even in Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama. You're outside, not like in you're not in a big city area. There might be some good deals. Counties you might want to check them and check tax auctions. You got to have cash in the bank. I would say form an LLC through your LLC, but whatever. But check those out. They don't usually come out until August, September. But I check these. You might buy in one county, you live county over or whatever. Check a couple counties, see what the deal is. Maybe an LLC started, you have your wife as a signatory on it or whatever, and they can write checks for you too. But just something to check out. You might pick up some good houses right there. You can turn and flip right away, which is pretty cool. And because you own them cash, you got to go through the whole thing. Now, remember the flip on that normally isn't going to be right away. Each county is different because they have usually a first ring on it. And basically, sometimes if it's the third ring out, they haven't paid for the third year. Sometimes you only have to wait 90 days or 120 days. It just all the county rules are different, but check with the collector's office. That's who you need to check with. And if they have a mailing list, get on that or a list or wherever you can find it. So anyway, so I'm just saying to you, the bubble's going to pop here pretty soon. They're starting to slow down, which is great. Rate's going to keep going up, which is great. Getting the rate up to 7.5, 7.75, 8%, I think is okay, even 9%. But if it stays in the high sevens, low sevens, anywhere in there, it's a good thing because basically it's going to allow the middle class to buy it. The only thing is going to be the DTI, and that could be an issue. Back in the old days, in the early 2000s, basically TDI and some loans could go to 60%. That's doing zero down or 90, 10, 95, 10. Hell, you used to be able to buy buildings down too back in the day or 5% down. So some of the loans generally don't do that anymore. Those days went away a long time ago. That's what money was a lot cheaper. But it's just you never know. Running money cheap. So there's a lot of things to do. So, anyways, this is just kind of a fast one today. Something for you to think about. Just king. Anyways, go to nickforecast.com. You got any questions? Go to Facebook at nickforecast. Go to my finance site, cobrafunds.biz. Subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe. And like I said, keep looking for those deals. Bye.